Hello everyone and welcome to Life with Aprons. Today I want to show you how you can make apple cider vinegar gummies in your own kitchen. Join me. Okay, today I'm in the kitchen. I was going to make some apple cider vinegar gummies this morning. I make them about once a week and I thought I'd just pop on here and show you how I make them. Now, we were buying apple cider vinegar gummies in the store, and I thought, like I do with many things, how it starts is, I wonder if I could make this at home. And you can, and it's actually really easy. It's actually very cheap to make, and the best part about it is you know exactly what ingredients are going into your product, and that's something that I'm really passionate about, that I want to know what is going into the product that I'm putting inside of my body. That's pretty important. And it's pretty important for me to know that I know what ingredients are going into my kids' bodies as well. All right, let's talk about apple cider vinegar gummies for a minute. That's quite the mouthful. We actually started buying some apple cider vinegar gummies because I started noticing a little bit of immune deficiency in some of my boys who maybe are a little picky in their eating, and they were getting some bumps on their skin. And I had read some things that these apple cider vinegar gummies were able to help with those bumps on the skin. So I had bought them, and they did a great job, and they started healing some of those areas on the skin. And as I kept buying them, I thought, man, for one thing, this is costing quite a bit of money, but for two, I know I can do better as I read the label. So like I do with so many things, I went and looked up online how I could make these, and I found a recipe, and I just tailor-made it for our family, and I want to share that with you today. It's a really easy recipe. It doesn't take a lot of ingredients, and the best part about it is that it is kid approved. Every single one of my kids love the gummies, and they don't feel like they're having to take it. They actually want to take it, and I actually have to limit them with how many gummies, because otherwise I'd be making them every single day. We already know that apple cider vinegar can do so many things, from household cleaning to a spray for animals to keep ticks and fleas off of them, to keep the flies off of cows. There's just a lot of ways you can use apple cider vinegar, and it is amazing for your body too. It's great for your gut health, and just an all-around good product to be using on a regular basis. All right, let's look at all the ingredients that are in these apple cider vinegar gummies. These are the things that you're going to want to have on hand when you make them. All right, first, of course, we're going to need apple cider vinegar. This recipe calls for 1/3 a cup of apple cider vinegar. I get a large thing of apple cider vinegar. This is an organic apple cider vinegar, and it has the mother in it. That is super important, that you make sure that the mother is inside of the vinegar. The next thing you're going to want is gelatin. This is what makes them gel. It gives them that gummy feel to it. I have an unflavored gelatin. You want to make sure it's unflavored because you definitely don't want a beefy flavor in your gummies. This is from Great Lakes. I'll put a link in the description. This is what I use. You might find another product, but I find that this is a great product, and it does a really good job. Not to mention, it when you're using this kind of gelatin, because it comes from cows, it has that wonderful collagen in it that is excellent for your body. So you're getting a double whammy here. You're getting that collagen inside of you, plus the apple cider vinegar inside of you. The next thing we're going to use for this recipe is a juice. You can use 100% apple juice. You can do a mixture of apple juice and another juice, which is what I like to do, because apple juice offers a little more sweetness than some of the other juices. And I tend to use stuff that we have around here. We're in mulberry and strawberry season, and so those are the juices I'm using, but mulberries and strawberries can be a little tart, and so I like to add some of that apple juice to it. So today I'm using a cup of mulberry juice. We just put the mulberries into the Vitamix, and then we strain them through, and then I have the juice for that. I'm going to use a cup of that, and then I'm going to use a 1/2 cup of apple juice to give it a little more sweetness. I also like to add honey to the recipe. This is a raw, unfiltered honey that I get locally here. If you are getting honey from the store, I encourage you to look at the label because not all honeys are created equal. You would think that in a grocery store, if it says honey on it, then that is all that is in that bottle. But that's not actually true. A lot of times you can find honey bottles on the shelf that have fillers in it. So make sure that you're getting 100% honey if you're not getting it locally and you're getting it from the grocery store. We're gonna use 3 tablespoons of honey in this recipe. All right, let's talk about supplies for a minute. This is a really low maintenance recipe, so you don't really need a lot of supplies. All you're gonna need is a pot to heat up your ingredients in, another bowl to bloom, as we call the gelatin, and then you're gonna pour all into some type of container that it can gel in. I'm using an 8 by 10, 8 by 11-ish pan. I pour it in here, and then when it gels, I cut it into squares. So you don't really need molds or anything like that. You can just find whatever you have in your kitchen to make the gummies. Okay, let's get started. We've been over the ingredients, we've been over the supplies. It's time to make some gummies. So I got my pot here, and what I am going to add is 1 cup of juice. I'm going to use my mulberry juice for this one. Okay. All right, I've got my juice in. So 1 cup of juice, and then you're going to reserve a 1/2 cup of juice to bloom the gelatin. The next thing we're going to add is our apple cider vinegar, 1/3 apple cider vinegar. Okay. And then lastly, we are going to add our honey. I said 3 tablespoons of honey. So you can just honey can be a little challenging to measure because it's so drippy and sticky, but you just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact. That's 2 and 3. Okay, and I'm just gonna get all of that off of the tablespoon because I hate to waste my precious honey. Okay, we are going to give this a stir. I'm going to put this on a medium heat for just a little bit while I get my gelatin started. And then once this has heated up, we're going to add it to the gelatin mixture. Okay, we are going to mix the rest of the juice and the gelatin together, and it's going to what we call bloom. And this kind of activates it so that we can pour our warm ingredients into the bowl with it. So the first thing we're going to do is use the rest of the juice. It's a 1/2 cup is what we have reserved. Okay, there's a 1/2 cup. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of my gelatin. I wanted to show you what it looks like as it is what we call blooming. You can see how it's got some folds in it, and this is just activating it, and then we're going to add our warm ingredients to it and stir that up. Okay, my blooming is finished, and so I'm going to add my warm ingredients to this bowl very carefully, and then I'm just going to give it a good stir. Probably should have used a bigger bowl, but you know. Okay, so we're just going to stir it around and get all of that gelatin in there. It's starting to melt. I can feel it. You just want to make sure that you're getting it all combined. If you have a few tiny chunks here and there, it's not going to be a big deal. You can see there's a little chunk right there. You just want to make sure you get mostly all of it combined so that it gels properly. We'll get that guy right there. Like I said, I should have used a bigger bowl, but okay, that looks really good. Yeah. That's pretty well combined. So what I'm going to do next is pour it into my mold. You don't have to do anything with your mold. You don't have to grease it, anything like that. You just pour it right in. Oh, I see one more spot here. I'm just going to try to mash that up a little bit. Okay. Okay. I'm going to carefully pour it in there. There we go. Oh, what a lovely color that mulberry gives. Okay, I have my mixture into my mold, and the next thing I'm gonna do is just put it in the fridge for a couple of hours. My gummies have been gelling in the refrigerator for several hours now, and I just wanted to take it out and show you. What I'm gonna do is just make marks and cut it into squares. And I like to give my kids, those who have little problems or their immune system's down, I give them 2 gummies in the morning and 2 gummies in the evening. And then for those that just want to have it for either the flavor or because it's just good for your body, they get 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. All right, I'm just gonna pull this up just to kind of show you what it looks like. Go. There we go. And then I put them in a jar and put the lid on, keep it in the fridge, and they will be gone before the end of the week. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content. Bye.